Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw for week 45, another 7 curious innovation-y things I saw last week. And no, I haven't done my hair, I've just taken off my baseball cap, I do apologise. However, first thing is an actual hoverboard. So this is Jake Laser. If you don't know Jake Laser, go and follow his videos because they're awesome. He's basically like Tony Stark of the internet, makes stuff like this. Has made a load of things before and lots of people have tried to make the hoverboard from Back to the Future, and Jake's had a go using ground effect. So ground effect uses essentially fans to blow air between the hoverboard and the floor, and it then rides on that cushion of air. If you put this thing 6 feet in the air, it wouldn't work because it requires the kind of the cushion of air to work. So as you can see, Jake is going around the neighborhood recreating in the actual location the same shots as Back to the Future. Won't spoil the video for you, please go and watch it. There's some sort of dramatic stuff right at the end, but really like that. Apparently this took 2 years and quite a lot of money to make, so the video is well worth a watch. There you go, nicely done. You may also have noticed in the news that bed bugs are on the rise, apparently 65% up on infestations in 2023 alone in the UK. So thank God for 2 students from the Swedish KTH Royal Institute of Technology. As you can see, these smiley faces in front of you have created this thing, which is the bed bug catcher. So it does 2 things. It attracts the bugs and then catches them. So it tracks them using CO2, i.e. it's trying to mimic the breath of a human. The bed bugs can't resist that. And there's a video on the website where you can see these little bed bugs crawling towards it. It's not particularly exciting video, but at least it shows it working. And I guess there's some goop inside this, I don't know, like some sort of chapstick or something like that, where they sort of crawl over it and they get stuck to it, I guess. However, there's a patent pending on this thing, some great 3D printing going on, so well done for that as well. Obviously it's quite large at the moment, but if it's solving a problem, then that's amazing. Well done to you two, like that. This is a great article from Evan Williams in Ars Technica, and it went to the Japan Mobility Show and looked at all the cool kind of mobility things there, as you can see on the screen. And here are some of my favourites. So thank you for Evan for reporting on these. So there's more in the article as well, so there's even weirder stuff in there as well. My favourite is the robot at the top, the SR2 or SR02. Apparently that's destined for the Disney theme park, I guess, in Japan. But it's, you know, maybe going to be a visitor ride. You got the Honda kind of wheelchair, I guess. Well, I guess there's wheelchairs in there, but basically you steer it with your body. So if you don't have use of your arms, then you can just lean forwards, backwards, and you can steer it like that. There's a lot of last mile delivery stuff. There's quite a lot of inflatable things as well, so you can pack them down and inflate them. So accessible mobility. There's some weird stuff in there, like the Toyota Luna concept, but also some sort of real practical things like, you know, flat floored EV buses, so people can actually get on them who have mobility issues and don't have to go up steps and that sort of thing. So also some flying stuff. There's some great stuff from Honda with flying things, you know, quadcopters and whatnot. So some really interesting stuff out there. The last mile delivery stuff is quite interesting as well, about how do you get stuff to local depots and then take that last mile out of kind of, you know, diesel or big trucks. So nicely done. This is a great campaign. This is Doritos, and they're obviously playing on the when you're gaming and then somebody's eating snacks on the other side, it's annoying. So what they've done is, I like this, there's a little bit of fluff in this, but there's also some sort of truth in it. I quite like it. What they've done is they've taken 5,000 Doritos crunches and they've trained an AI to then understand how to cancel out that crunch. Now, there's probably a little bit of kind of leeway in that, shall we say. However, what they've then created is essentially a piece of software that you can download only on Windows, and it sits in between your microphone really and the game. You activate it and it just acts like a sort of a virtual microphone. But what it does, if it listens or if it hears a Doritos crunch, it cancels it out. So there you go. So really quite like that. So that's Doritos Silent, game on, crunch off. Nicely done. Now this is Zlu. If you haven't seen Zlu, you may have seen him in like the Pull and Bear thing, and there's also some Karl Lagerfeld, some Fila, Netflix, lots of different things, as Swarovski I think as well, as has actually used Zlu. Now Zlu is a made-up CGI alien, giant alien, but it's appearing everywhere, and I thought, well, hang on, what is Zlu? And Zlu has just been signed by IMG, so essentially now has an agent. If you'd like to use Zlu, then you go through the agent. Hilariously, on their website, they've only got one person on their books under Z. If you click on that, it doesn't actually work. But Zlu has 1 million followers between TikTok, mostly on TikTok, also on Insta as well. Lots of other influencers we've seen are virtual influencers, but we're starting to see more and more of them as well. So if you start to see these campaigns, lots of people are doing these campaigns, and if you then have a virtual influencer, they seem to get more hits as well. So maybe the next one you book should be virtual. Big meeting on the AI front. And such, there were two things really. One was US and one was the world. The world version of it is this new agreement, and this is called the Bletchley Declaration because it happened in the UK at Bletchley Park, obviously for the code breakers of the Second World War fame. What they came together with, and also Elon Musk was there, so you might have seen him in the news as well, but essentially didn't say much other than was worried about the whole thing. But really what they were saying is we need to come together to start to have an opinion and also some rules around the risks and some of the benefits of AI. So you can see some of the objectives that at least the UK government came into this with listed in front of you, and it's sort of, you know, understanding, sharing, collaboration, but also some rules and, you know, showcasing bits and bobs and, you know, whatever. The US actually had their own thing, so Biden had an executive order. And there were some really spicy things in there. It's sort of very similar, but one of the more interesting ones was about watermarking. I'm saying that every AI content needs to be watermarked, so whether that be text or images or video, somehow needs a watermark. So great in theory, so that if you see something, you can see that that's been generated, and likewise, if you're in AI, you know probably not to ingest that and learn from it because it's already been generated by an AI. But realistically, it's not really going to work because it's very easy to essentially use AI to remove the watermark, but there you go. Tech experts are also a little bit worried about it in that all it's really done is it's got the same big companies in the room, and it's all going to be a little bit opaque, and the smaller companies are probably not going to get a look in. There you go. But there is some movement, maybe a little bit of an emotional knee-jerk, but we'll see where that goes. And finally, one of my favourite videos of the week. This is from Ivan Miranda. If you don't follow Ivan Miranda, then you really should do. Really exciting to listen to on YouTube. But this is a clock. So this is a marble clock, and it uses black and white marbles to tell the time. And Ivan is really interesting the way he finds the problems or discovers the problems and finds solution to them as well. And it's just brilliant to see somebody solving the problems live, really on the video, so to speak. So really interesting. But what you're seeing here is marbles going up on the right hand side, special little valves and little sort of activators that choose the right marbles, and then eventually it tells the time. So there you go. Needlessly complicated, but brilliant at the same time. Really like that. So hopefully that was useful. Hopefully it was interesting. If it was, then send it to somebody else. Hopefully I will see you next week.